swine flu frenzy has hit the hub, and Boston University is ramping up new precautions. We'll tell you what measures to take to stay healthy.
The Boston Globe gave BU's newest dorm raving reviews, but are the residents pleased?
Later, Student Union President James Sappenfield shares his agenda for the upcoming year. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Megan Pete.
And I'm Daniela Granica, and we're bringing the news to you.
Now, BU TV 10's award-winning news magazine program. This is Inside Boston.
Welcome to the season premiere of Inside Boston. I'm Daniela Granica.
And I'm Megan Pete. Frenzy over the swine flu has spread, leaving many wondering how to stay healthy. I spoke to BU's own Dr. McBride, who prescribed some precautions to take on the campus. Charlie Walker is a typical Boston University freshman, but he recently came down with what he believes was swine flu.
It was scary. I didn't think it was anything that huge, and then I took my temperature the next morning, and I had an 102.
The swine flu pandemic is working its way across the country. It targets healthy young adults. This makes college students prime targets. BU Student Health Services are trying to prevent widespread sickness on campus.
We're really trying hard to get the message out about prevention, which are things like encouraging students to wash their hands. You know, we've worked with facilities to get hand washing stations out around on campus, and hopefully students are using those. It's a really excellent way of preventing flu transmission. We have posters up in the residence halls that I'm aware of encouraging people to wash their hands. You know, we're really pushing the flu shot this year. So a lot of effort is on prevention.
If students do get sick, the school plans to, quote, provide for isolation using empty rooms around campus.
At times we're moving well roommates out of a room with a sick roommate to another space, and sometimes they're staying with friends or they're staying in another room. And then in some circumstances, you know, for example, if a student's in a triple, we might actually move the sick student to an isolation space.
Places like here at Danielson Hall have empty spaces for sick students or their healthy roommates. But is this a health risk? BU Student Health officials says no, because the virus is transmitted through droplets in coughs or sneezes instead of through the air.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that folks are concerned about is, you know, if I'm living next door to someone who's coughing and sneezing, is it going to go through the air ducts and infect everyone in the building? And in fact, there's not evidence that that happens. It's really more direct contact with these droplets.
BU has flu kits available for students who do get sick. So far, BU has 49 confirmed cases of swine flu. Reporting from Boston, Megan Pete, BU TV 10. The swine flu vaccine will be available in late October or early November. Student Health Services hopes to provide the shot for free.
One local art museum would turn away even Picasso, Monet, and Van Gogh's masterpieces. Jenna Barnes set the scene for a gallery that displays the best of the worst.
Museums are usually seen as being old, musty, and boring, but the Museum of Bad Art challenges these stereotypes. It is located in the basement of the Somerville Theater in Davis Square and offers a humorous and lighthearted approach to museums.
People who maybe don't have much experience viewing art, visiting museums, this is a really accessible way to get a taste for art and to see what art's like. People can come in here and they're not going to be intimidated. They can say what they think, and then sometimes they'll go on to get interested in other art.
The Museum of Bad Art has been located in the Somerville Theater location for about 2.5 years. According to the Somerville Theater General Manager, Ian Judge, the museum entertains spectators ranging from college students to middle-aged adults.
Well, it's eclectic, and it's something that's not snobbish, and I think that's something about Somerville that's very, even though it's been gentrified, it's still that kind of blue-collar attitude where you know, we'd rather have bad art than snooty art.
While the Museum of Bad Art is carefree fun for some museum goers, others are more critical.
Well, who are you to say what's bad? And our answer to that is, you know, well, who is any museum to say what's good or bad? You know, if people are allowed to make judgments about art, to say that some art is good, then we're allowed to say some art is bad. And that's all it is, our judgment.
But some critics want to know, how do artists feel about their art being displayed here? We asked graphic design major Trevor Lyons how he would feel if his art was featured in the Museum of Bad Art.
I would probably enjoy that because a big part about art is the criticism that you get and learning from the critique of your art. So it'd be definitely a cool thing to do.
Whether you're an avid art enthusiast or just waiting for your movie to start, the Museum of Bad Art has pieces that are too bad to be ignored. For Inside Boston, I'm Meg Blauvelt.
To view more bad art, visit one of the museum's 2 locations in Somerville and Dedham. For directions, visit museumofbadart.org.
Boston University recently cut the amount of pages students can print on campus and closed several computer labs. Inside Boston's Lexi O'Connor reports on students' frustration with the new system.
Printing, what used to be a painless task for students, is now something they may have taken for granted. Boston University has reduced undergraduates' unlimited printing to a strict 100 pages per semester, making it difficult for students to complete professors' assignments.
Oh, we're decreasing your printing quota, so this is the amount of pages you have to use. No, the professors still want you to print out things and, actually have the physical copies of things.
Students now have to pick and choose what they print out to highlight and bring to class or read over the internet. When students exceed the 100-page printing quota, they are charged 12 cents per page, something students are not happy about.
So it doesn't really make any sense. It's sort of forcing students to have to pay more for the convenience, which after $50,000 a year, I don't really think we should have to do.
Students also no longer have the option of printing in multiple labs on campus, leaving old printing labs studentless and computerless after the university combined them into one renovated lab at Mugar Library. However, BU's Informational Services claims it wasn't about saving money, but about enhancing students' studying experience.
The university's not saving money on this up front. It's not going to save money on this for a few years downstream, but the university is making a very smart investment in more efficient technologies that reflect the way that students actually live and work today.
Although the printing changes may be great for the environment and a good investment for the university, students fear that the closing of computer labs, such as 111 Cummington, will just bring dreaded lines to Mugar Library, now the only printing lab on campus.
People are printing out like midterm papers or final papers. I don't even know.
For Inside Boston, this is Lexi O'Connor.
Students who do not want to print at Mugar Library can send papers for pickup at residence mailrooms by downloading MyPrint from StudentLink.
After the break, we'll tell you how BU students remember the life of controversial pop legend Michael Jackson in a fitting way.
Boston University's student body has a new president, James Sappenfield. Our own Michaela McDonald gets a glimpse into his proposed agenda later in the show.